Personally, I think this idea of a prison system is not working. We are filling up these prisons with two different kinds of people. One kind of people being the ones that would have committed violent issues, such as murder, rape, and arson. The others being non-violent drug offenders, who are subject to go to prison to not only get off their drug of choice, but to also face this group of violent people who are, to be quite honest, not too welcoming. And studies have shown that once these drug offenders get out of prison, they are going to use again and endanger themselves and to be arrested again. These offenders should be put into rehabilitation centers and be cured of their addiction. This not only saves thousands of dollars by not keeping them in prison, but also saves the country thousands of dollars by making this person more productive again and to be also buying commodities from other corporations of America. This would also help raise the self-esteem of the prisoners, to be confident that they are useful to the community. A couple of questions should be raised on why these drug offenders are going to prison over rehab. First off, why do we have this war on drugs? It is clearly not working. Both soft and hard drugs are very easy to obtain in every neighborhood of this country. Also, this war on drugs is the only reason that the gateway theory exists. For those who do not know what the gateway theory is this theory stating that a person who starts off using soft drugs moves on to harder drugs. The reason this theory exists is because the person selling the soft drugs also sells the hard drugs. If all drugs were legalized, all pre-illegal drugs would be examined and studied to figure out what are bad and good of that drug. This way we can have a general warning on that drug like we do for alcohol and tobacco. Another question we have to ask is why do we keep building more prisons for these non-violent offenders when we could be using that money to build schools and hospitals? The reason for this is because the government does not want to admit their mistake, and not only would they look bad for doing this for so long, but some illegal drugs could replace a lot of corporations such as hemp/cannabis, replacing much of the oil and paper industries, not to mention the pharmaceutical companies. Another question to be asked is why do we promote violence in Mexico by keeping these drugs illegal rather than help the person who consumes these drugs in America and put them in rehabilitation? This is a very tough question. This has to do with various forms of corruption, both Mexico and the United States. But as to why they do this still remains unanswered. Now ask yourself this question. Do you believe that this war on drugs is working? Or should there be a different method on how we should run this Controlled Substance Act, such as resulting to decriminalization of all drugs, similar to what Portugal has done, which resulted in 50% less heroin use, or just full legalization of all drugs?